What's up, folks? Welcome back. Grotsmas is finally coming to an end. It is Christmas Eve today. Hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday so far. And we've got one more detachment to talk about, although apparently we are getting a drop tomorrow as well. So I will be online to talk about whatever that is. I think everyone is hoping for some Emperor's Children stuff. We'll see how it goes. But we got Space Wolves today. They saved, I guess, the most Christmas appropriate faction for last. But oh boy, did we get one of the factions of all time, I guess, or one of the detachments. A certainly playable, a legally playable detachment, as they say. You can choose to play this if you want. I think a lot of people were excited about Space Wolves because the lead up has been rough for the old Wolves of Fenris. The other Space Marine sub-factions are really blowing them out of the water right now with all of the buffs that they got in the detachment. Or in the update, excuse me, and man, the data slate, I should say, it doesn't really feel very good to play Space Wolves right now because there's very little reason to do so. They are missing their official supplement, so there's maybe a little bit of sort of wiggle room where we can maybe find some interesting ways to play them in the future. But as it stands right now, you just feel like you should be playing Ultramarines, I think, if you're in Space Wolves. We were hoping that this new detachment would be a way to sort of bring them out of that malaise. Hey guys, here's some cool unique Space Wolves mechanics. Instead they got what is basically a almost strictly worse version of the Blood Legion detachment, which is a little bit awkward. Keep your whole army right next to each other. Yeah, keep everyone within, like, basically spitting distance. So let's talk about it. Let's go ahead and dive in. I think what we will do is, as we typically do with these, I'm just going to pull up the index for Space Wolves, and we can talk about their existing detachment, Champions of Russ, and what you get out of that, because that is what you're going to be giving up by playing this new detachment. So here we go. Here's the Champions of Russ. So this is the old wording, but obviously this has all been updated to make this less annoying and silly to play. Basically, Champions of Russ gives you a saga at the start of the game. Typically sustained hits, I think. Saga of the Warrior Board is the one you pick, but you can also get 6+2 no pain. Lethal hits. That's unlocked, and then every turn you can select a new one. If you're able to complete the challenge, then you'll unlock that ability. While those abilities are active, your stratagems improve as well. Especially if Saga of the Warrior Born is active, then not only do you get sustained hits, so that's already great, but also you get advanced charge for SCP. Thanks to Relentless Assault. So it's kind of it's like a Gladius Task Force with a little more damage, a little bit less flexibility. And honestly, it's pretty great. Nothing bad to say about old Champions of Russ. Kind of a classic Space Wolves detachment. Feels really good. Now, Champions of Fenris is the new detachment, and it really is harkening back to 8th and 9th edition Space Wolf mechanics. One of the things that they love to do with Space Wolves is make them this counter-assault army. That's always the kind of their mechanical identity, is that they're very good at receiving charges then hitting back. I don't really know where that comes from. Doesn't seem particularly wolfy to me, but that's always just been how they've built them. They had counterattack back in like 5th edition or whatever. And then in previous editions, their faction ability used to be that they could heroically intervene as if they were characters, which previously only characters could do. And we're basically returning that into the game here with this Champions of Fenris detachment ability. However, it's not very good. It's not that great. Jean Marquand playing preparing some Christmas dinner. Well, I got the background sounds or the background noise for you. Merry Christmas from New Zealand. Hell yeah. Damn Legion. Nice to see you in the chat, dude. Yeah, it's Christmas Day over there, right? We're still over. We're bright and early on Christmas Eve right now over here. Or I guess you're almost at Christmas Day, right? It is snowing outside right now, so we look to be having a white Christmas, which is very exciting. It has been very, very little snow in my area, which is uncharacteristic. Typically, we're shoveling ourselves out all winter, but Something something global warming. It's a hoax, perpetrated by the fake news media or something. I don't know. Get your own holiday. Yeah. So let's talk about. It's 4 a.m. Hot damn, dude. Well, thank you for hopping up at 4 a.m. to watch my live stream, man. Appreciate that, dude. Here's the detachment ability. The end of your opponent's charge phase, each Adeptus Astartes infantry and walker unit from your army that is within 3 inches of one or more enemy units and would be eligible to declare a charge against one or more of those units can declare a charge against one or more of those units. And you resolve that charge as if it were your charge phase. If the charge is successful, you don't get the charge bonus. So you don't get fight first. It's literally a tiny baby heroic intervention, 3 inches of enemy models. While Terminator units from your army are not battle shocked, they get +1 OC. Totally fine. So, like, I think we just played with this with NC Conroy last night. But this is basically like directly comparable to the Blood Legion detachment ability, right? And I just want to put these two abilities next to each other and talk about like what is actually going on here. So, the first thing is that this is a full charge. So, you roll 2d6 and do all the. You have to base your opponent, do all the normal charge stuff. That's standard. So it's almost guaranteed you're in, right? In fact, if there's nothing in the way, it is literally guaranteed that you're in. So your opponent is never allowed to stand within 3 inches of you. However, 3 inches is really short. And it's very difficult to set yourself up into positions where this is going to trigger. The only times that it will is if you have like a big unit and you're in the center of an objective and your opponent's trying to contest it. And in those situations, it's going to be pretty good. But let's be real. At this, sitting on the center of an objective, you're probably going to get shot a lot. And your opponent's probably... And also just charged normally. So this needs a way to prevent enemies from wanting to charge you, and it doesn't have that. So if we like take a peek at this detachment, right? The Blood Legion detachment ability triggers in the movement phase, and it triggers 6 inches away. And I'm still not entirely convinced that this is a particularly strong detachment ability, even though it does only move you d6 inches, so it has a much higher failure rate. But it triggers literally like 3 times as often, because you have about 3 times as much real estate, and it triggers in the movement phase, so you can mess with your opponent's turn. This one has a shorter charge distance, and also only triggers in the charge phase after they've already charged you, which makes you ineligible to do it. So I'm struggling to identify beyond like you're fighting in melee only army and they're trying to contest your objectives or something. But I'm trying to identify a situation in which this would be particularly useful, and I'm really having a tough time. And that makes me sad. Heading to work here to say it's garbage. Yeah. Oh man. Your opponent actually tries to set up 3 heroic intervention. They're gonna get screened by a single infiltrator unit. Yeah, so it's a heroic intervention, but it doesn't require a trigger, right? But you still have to be within 3 inches of someone. And how often are in 440,000, a game played on a 60-inch long table, are your units within 3 inches of your opponent's unit and you're not murdering them? Or at least not trying to murder them? And I would say the answer is extremely rare. There are going to be some instances where, for example, you can be on terrain features that are on objectives, right? You can be relatively tanky or in cover on an objective, and your opponent's like, forced to contest it or consider your 3-inch countercharge. But like realistically, this has already been their detachment ability, and I would say that back in the day, in old editions, you used to be able to unlock a 6-inch heroic intervention, and that was which had the same trigger, right, as this one does. End of your charge phase, end of your opponent's charge phase if you're not engaged, essentially. And there are ways around it, and you could like do weird combat movement hijinks. But generally speaking, that was pretty good but I would say I don't know if it was like the #1 strongest you know, sort of detachment in the game. It wasn't crazy good. This is half as effective. And I don't know. Still, I think the context of 10th edition is a lot less powerful than it was in the past. Previously, like being in combat, was absolutely lethal to you if you weren't prepared for it. And now nobody dies in 10th edition. So you know, having your dudes get charged by your opponent's dudes is not the end of the world in a lot of cases, because they're then stuck in melee as well. Well, pointless. At least the Thousand Sun one was better than this. Yeah, at least the Thousand Suns one was playing with new mechanics. This is like old mechanics and implemented poorly. It's potentially the worst one. It means they can't steal your objectives by towing in. Well, it also means that in order for you to protect the objective, you have to be. Is my music loud, by the way, chat? It actually looks like it's kind of loud. I'm gonna turn it down. But yeah, it's actually too high volume. It means that you have to be on the middle of the objective. So in a lot of situations, in order to trigger the detachment ability, you have to expose yourself to shooting. Because there's an enhancement to extend the range of this, but there are no stratagems or anything to make this go farther. So you have to be past, you know, you have to be past the edge of the objective marker to unlock this, which means your opponent just gets to shoot you. And obviously that's matchup dependent. You could be playing a matchup where your opponent's all melee, but then they're just going to charge you and engage you anyway, and it doesn't matter. So it's like flabbergasting to me. I don't know. Now there's a sub theme here where it's also kind of Terminator focused. As we can see, there's a bunch of Terminator focused stuff in here. Your Terminator units that are not battle shocks get +1 OC. Okay, cool. The downside is that we were actually discussing this yesterday, and it's so funny because every time we posit something, we're just like, well, wouldn't it be cool if they released this? Then like 90% of the time they have. The downside is that I think there's like a fundamental misunderstanding of what Terminators do. The only reason, in my opinion, that Terminators were playable in Space Wolves previously was because of the Fire Discipline combo. That's been nerfed. Because the Space Wolf Wolfclaw Terminators, or I guess Space Wolf Terminators in general, are unique in that they have a lieutenant option, right? So they could unlock sustained lethal for the Terminator units. Terminators otherwise are not very good data sheets, in general. They need some very specific combos in order to make them useful. Their defensive stats are solid, but their offensive stats leave something to be desired. They pay a lot of extra sort of points value for being a jack-of-all-trades unit, when realistically that's not necessarily that's not really required. Yeah, it's not helped by the fact that Terminators are bad. So they really needed something that could rival Fire Discipline. And to be fair, I don't even think the Terminator units were particularly competitive with Fire Discipline. They were just playable, right? The unit was strong, but it also cost you like 600 points. So it was like, all right, you know, I could blow something up with this and then maybe like act as a big late game anchor. But it's a third of my army, and it's probably not worth it. And you have to get within 12 inches of your opponent. So the stars had to align for this unit to be good to begin with, and it needed one of the most powerful enhancements ever printed in 10th edition. And they just didn't replace it with anything. There's just nothing here the Terminators like actually really want to be doing. So let's move on to enhancements. Wolf's Wisdom is a 30-point enhancement. It extends the range to your Great Wolf Watches, the detachment rule from 3 inches to 6 inches. Much more reasonable. I don't really know where this goes, where it's optimal, but this does actually allow you to like protect objectives and stuff with it, which is actually useful, right? So this is good. It is probably too expensive, but at least you can have one unit that is going to be solid. And I think the idea is that maybe you can you teleport Homer like onto an objective, and then I don't know, your opponent tries to charge them or something, and then fails and then dies. I actually don't really know where the use case of this is. I think you're supposed to put it on Terminators, but I don't think it's very good there. Maybe Blade Guard veterans or something. I don't know. But at least we have a way to extend the range, so that's something. This detachment is good for surprising your opponent one time with Murder Fang. There's anti-synergy there too, right? Because if Murder Fang doesn't charge, then he like doesn't get to fight twice, basically. Because your opponent will hit him and then he'll hit back, but then he'll be ineligible to fight anyway. I forget if they've FAQ'd fight on target. Yeah. Because that is, I believe Bros has written that's the way that fight on target works, is it? You can't make a normal fight activation if you've been targeted already. But I don't remember if they've changed that. Yeah, no 6-inch consolidation. They never FAQ'd it for Murder Fang, but they did FAQ it for the World Eaters, dude. Oh, okay. Well, then it should carry over, right? Because it's exactly the same mechanic. I remember I don't know, they FAQ'd it a million different times. And they FAQ'd it so that you couldn't shoot in response to a melee attack, right? If it wasn't your shooting phase, which is really shitty. Because then you couldn't just, like, flamethrower them and then call it a day. Whatever. Either way. I don't know if Murder Fang is the way to go here. They did change it? Okay. Cool. Foe's Fate is the next one. Each time an enemy unit within engagement range of the bear's unit falls back, you must take a desperate escape check. We minus 1 when battle shocked. You've seen this enhancement a million times. It's almost never played, but it is only 15 points. Fang Rune Pendant, 15 points. Terminator unit is eligible to shoot and declare charge in a turn in which you fell back. You know what else you can do that with? It's just play Gladius House Course. You pay a CP for that. Okay. It's like a good enhancement, but it's not flashy. It's not interesting. It doesn't improve their output at all, which is really the problem. Like I think a lot of times Terminators are gonna get stuck in. They're probably just gonna be pretty dead. It won't really matter anyway. Long Strider is the last one. You get charge rerolls. Okay. These are like the most unappetizing enhancements in 40k. None of them do anything. They just like shore up fuck ups, basically, right? Like Foe's Fate's kind of interesting, although it doesn't exclude monsters and vehicles. Because at least like if you're playing aggressively and engaging stuff, then you can force additional casualties on your opponent. But like a fallback and charge and a reroll charges. So we're just like, we're basically shoring up the situations where our unit didn't kill what it charged or what charged it. And when we fail our charge roll. So cool. Oh, man. There's one cool thing you can do, and that's give the pack leader the Terminator keyword to Space Wolf infantry units. When the best enhancement is 20 points for a charge roll, yeah. I mean, the joke is that basically all of these are just things you can do for a CP. Alright, we'll move over to the stratagems. Prey Taker's Eye gives an infantry unit lethal or sustained one. Cool. Shooting or fight phase. Good effect. I wish if there was like a trigger, like Terminators get both or something, then we're like, all right, okay, we're talking. But no, just you pick one. Okay. Armor of Contempt. It's Armor of Contempt. Runes of Claiming. It's an end of your command phase. An infantry or walker unit from your army, you can obsec an objective. This is, I mean, that's unironically, it's good. It is your command phase, so it's not one of the ones where you could use it in your opponent's turn, which makes it less useful. But in the situations where your opponent doesn't up B downy a million times, you can try to like basically force a situation where they don't want to come contest your objective. You get to control it, and then you lock it in and control it permanently. I think that's the intended play pattern, but it just seems fine. I guess it'll happen. I think, but is it good? I'm not sure. Chilling Howl. One Terminator unit from your army at the in your opponent's command phase forces a battle shock check on everybody within 6 inches with -1. Little tiny baby shadow in the warp. You can try to block people's scoring for this one. It's in command phase, so you can see what their card draws are before you declare it, which is cool. But good? I don't believe that it is. Stalking Wolves is the next one, usable in your opponent's shooting phase after an enemy unit has selected its targets. An infantry unit selected as the target gains stealth. So this was kind of like an OG combo. They're like really harkening back to old versions of Space Wolves, because there used to be a psychic power where you could project stealth on your infantry, and so they used to be it was cover, and I think if your psychic test was high enough, it would also provide -1 to be hit. And you could or it was a stratagem, excuse me. It was a stratagem you would use. When you cast a psychic power, you summon a storm cloud and make everybody -1 to be hit. So you would have these like tanky Terminator units that had a bunch of stacked defensive buffs, including the stealth thing. So you can be -1 AP against one attack, obviously, with new ASE. And then you can also be stealth. You can make your Terminators kind of difficult to remove. And ideally, if your opponent can't shoot you to death and they have to move up and contest your objectives, then you get to counterattack. I'm not 100% sure, especially in the universe where Space Marines are really good and rerolling everything, that stealth is going to be what tips the balance there. But, I don't know, we'll see. Bad detachment rule, bad enhancements, but okay strats. I mean, are the strats okay? I'm not even sure that they are. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, Runes of Claiming is good, I guess. Armor of Contempt, like, I guess you could count it, but that is just a Space Marine thing. That might as well be a Space Marine, like, faction ability, you know what I mean? Onrushing Storm is the last one. Your Terminator squad gets uppy downy. It's solid. That's fine. It's a placement into strategic reserves. So, you don't have to come back immediately, which is cool. So you can actually set up, like, teleport homer drops with them. If you haven't used it already. So there's, like, some fun stuff you can do with Onrushing Storm. But, again, you have to play Terminators, dude. Oh, boy. So, yeah, this is I guess we're not really ending Grotsmas on this one, which is good. Thank God there's another drop tomorrow. But this is like basically just the most unappetizing sort of like finish to this whole saga, unintended. As we could have put together. Runes of Claiming is end of your command phase. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, all of them are end of your command phase. Or at least functionally end of your command phase. So the funny thing is, here's the funny thing about if this was like movement phase, and the Tyranid one does this. We had a whole discussion about it when we talked about the Tyranid detachment ability. The Tyranid OBSEC in the Warrior Detachment.
Ryan G donated $5 through Super Chat. If only they had that wild strat from the Crew detachment that allowed fall back at the end of combat.
Yeah, Ryan, you're not wrong. That strat is fucking insane. If only they had definitely the best stratagem in a detachment full of good stratagems, for sure. Yeah, compare this to Auxiliary Cadre, man. You feel like you just want to like bleed out of your eyeballs. But the funny thing about like movement phase OBSEC abilities is that you don't, if it's a new objective, you don't control it until the start of the shooting phase. So, if it's usable in your movement phase, it actually doesn't work on new objectives. It functionally just means that an objective you already controlled in the command phase, you can then lock in. So it's like the same thing. The difference is that if it has a keyword restriction, you could move that unit onto the objective in order to unlock the stratagem. So command phase timing is basically every single one of these abilities. There's not really another functional timing for this, which is fine. If it was any command phase, I think you would be certainly talking a little bit more excitedly about it. But I think it's like, I mean, it's a totally fine stratagem. The problem is that there's not really anything else in this detachment that makes you want to play them. Like uppy downy is okay, I guess, and sustained hits is like okay, I guess so. I guess I'll take +1 to hit essentially for a CP, but it doesn't really do that much. It's so whelming, yeah. I'm certainly whelmed. Oh man, so I don't know, dude. We'll do a list build for this detachment, but I'm like, I'm not even that jazzed about it, dude. I don't even know what you take here. Just there's like no synergy. There's nothing. There's no like mechanical through lines we can grab onto. Like, do we want to take OC2 Terminators? Maybe. We can get sustained lethal by putting a Wolf Guard guy into the Prey Taker unit. This is also Terminator Squad. So does this actually affect Assault Terminators? Now I'm looking at it. You can't uppy. It doesn't seem like you can uppy downy stuff that just has the Wolf Guard dude in it, right? Because that's. I assume that would not be a Terminator Squad unit. Let's take a peek at some keywords here, chat. Yeah, so even the Terminator Assault units are Terminator Assault Squads. Not Terminator Squads. Which I assume does not carry over, right? So this is literally only the shooting. It doesn't. Does it even work on Wolfguard Terminators? Hold up. Did they like fuck it that bad? There's also a I think there's a typo in this attachment too. Please have the Terminator Squad keyword. Bro. Dan Bleacher, thank you for the membership. This fucking detachment, dude. It is literally only... It's only the basic Terminator, like, Stormbolter unit, dude. You can't do it on Wolfguard. You can't do it on characters. Nothing else can be targeted by this. I actually thought this was the best thing in the detachment, but you have to use it on, like, one of the worst units in the game. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put the goal up, chat. Shit. Alright. Maybe that was like a Freudian slip. Alright, here we go, chat. There's the goal. There's the goal to make me play. I will play right after this if we reach the goal. For sure. It's not Adeptus Astartes Terminator. It's Adeptus Astartes Terminator Squad. So you have to have the Terminator Squad part in your keyword line. Yeah, make me fucking suffer for sure. We'll count Ryan's super chat into that, by the way, folks. I'm not that masochistic. That one can be in there. Yeah, it's super dumb. So literally no other Terminator unit qualifies for this horrible stratagem. Not even the Space Wolf specific Terminator unit. Like, bro! If it was Terminator unit, suddenly we're talking, right? Because all this stuff gets applied, but it literally is only this datasheet that has the correct keyword. Holy shit, dude. You'll have played money to have me not play this? Spin the wheel of every Grotsmas attachment, play whatever it lands on. Yeah, so I think we might do that. We were talking about doing that last night and doing like a big like marathon stream where we just play a trillion Grotsmas attachments for like 24 hours, and I slowly become more and more unhinged. And I'm interested in doing that, and I don't know when that would take place. Maybe next week. Do allied Grey Knight Terminators have the Terminator Squad keyword? Almost assuredly. It requires Adeptus Astartes, so they for sure are not Adeptus Astartes. Almost assuredly they don't, but they could have Brotherhood Terminator Squad. I don't know. I don't think that counts though. Jesus, dude, this is like A mess. What a mess of a detachment. Oh, man. All right. Well, let's make a list for it, I guess. Is it worth it? Here's our new recruit. Yeah, I'm wondering. So, like, on the tier list, right, of Grotsmas attachments, like, I'm sure there are worse ones. That Votan one was like kind of really weird. I guess that one had like at least things going on. This one doesn't feel like it's doing anything. The sisters one might be the worst one. Like worse than that? I don't know. So we can push like our Terminators to OC 3, which is cute, right? We can stack 2 OC buffs with an ancient. That's certainly something. And then what do we do? Fuck. Maybe we take like maybe we take Phobos librarians. You can't shoot us on the objective, and I can countercharge you if you come close. Like, I don't know. That might be okay for the countercharge guy, right? It's like Phobos librarian with like Hounds of Mordecai, maybe. Except that they don't infiltrate, so all the melee Phobos units have no synergy with the Phobos librarian. It's incredibly stupid. And then he gets like the enhancement, the expensive enhancement to like, somebody has a 30-point enhancement somewhere to 6-inch heroically intervene. Maybe we could do that. Is that something? I don't know. And then what else does this attachment do? We're supposed to play Terminator squads? Okay. Maybe we just run a bunch of Terminator squads. Is that something? We can uppy downy our Terminators so we could just run 5 units of 180-point Terminators. Oh, excuse me, 170 points, finally. They're worth it. Imperial agents might be the worst. Ragnar and a lieutenant with a 6-inch enhancement? You just get shot though, right? Like you just explode. Space Marine, yeah, Librarius is like I don't think it's very good, but it's at least doing stuff, right? Like you can build a functional list that is interesting and has like cool things going on. But like I don't know what you do with this one. I don't know why you would play this over literally any other Space Marine detachment in the entire game. Imperial agents might be the worst. I have Imperial Knights was really bad. But at least like you could take like Skitari stuff. That's kind of cool. You got infantry. I blanked Imperial agents from my brain. What was the Imperial agent one? I'm Ragnar even has like anti-synergy with this detachment. He's still good, but he already has sustained hits. So like the one offensive buff you can give him, he already had. He doesn't even benefit from. Oh man. I guess you want Judiciars, maybe? Actually, I think a Judiciar with the fight first is the thing to do. That's what you want. Oh, but I can't take the enhancement because he's not a psyker. Because I've chosen Librarius Conclave as my proxy. There we go. First Company Assault Force. A Judiciar, so they can actually fight when they heroically intervene 6 inches, and then like you play like what do you put him in? Fucking assault squad. Assault Intercessor Squad? Is that what he goes in? Oh, the Assassin Detachment, of course. Yeah, I didn't. I was like out of town. I didn't even look at that one. Terminator Librarian with Wolf Guard. Gets sustained and lethal for CP. You could also just buy... You could buy lethal and get sustained and lethal for CP. But like, yeah, I mean, I guess if the idea is that we're playing Terminators, like let's play Terminators, I guess. We could play Nyal. Does he do anything? Nope. Oh, he gives you perma stealth, which you can get for CP. Cool. I think I'm into Terminators with the Ancient. At least, God, they don't hit hard though. They're so pillow fisted. Fuck. We're building an entire army of fucking strength 8 dudes with no offensive buffs. God damn it. This detachment is a shit show, dude. Alright, fuck Terminators. I'm not playing them. I'm putting my foot down. I will not be playing them. Here's what we do, chat. We will take many Redemptor Dreadnoughts. Here you go. We have this Judiciary unit. I'm going to make it Blade Guard veterans. So at least maybe he won't die to a gun. And you can make him stealth. Stealth Blade Guard veteran. What could go wrong? And then we take a bunch of Redemptor Dreadnoughts and we just obsec all the objectives. That's the game plan. What are you going to do? Kill a Redemptor Dreadnought? No one in history has ever managed to destroy one of these. They're too strong. And then maybe we take some Ballistic Dreadnoughts. Are we just playing Wolf Bots? We could just play Wolf Bots. Pack Leader and Terminator armor gives Blood Claws, Great Hunters, and a few others detachment bonus to OC. Yeah, but like, sure. But like, why? Like, I don't know what we're doing with that. You know what I mean? I guess you could play like, maybe you do like a, maybe we could play like a Land Raider. We do a Redeemer. What can we attach the Terminator Battle Leader into? We can do it into Blood Claws. So we could do a Terminator Battle Leader with fighty stuff. We can take a Storm Shield and a missile launcher. Sick. Can he combo attach? Yeah, even if one or more character units. So we can do the Ulrich the Slayer unit. I like Ulrich the Slayer, so we're gonna take that guy. We've done it, chat. We built a functional unit, and now they're OC something 3, OC 3. Whoa, that's cool. I guess. I guess you could do it with like Ragnar too, maybe.
Ryan G donated $5 through Super Chat. This detachment is the equivalent of taking a toxic green in a simulation swarm for how it synergizes with the detachment. Oh wait.
Indeed. It is the equivalent of taking a toxic green in the simulation swarm. Man, you can't even like put them into rhinos. At least we could put Ragnar Blackmane into a rhino, right? If we put him with like a Bloodclaw unit. Which I assume he can join, but I actually don't know. Yeah. But we can't do it with the Terminator guy. So maybe we... Do we do 2 Redeemers? With Blood Claws in them? This is very stupid. And one of them has Ragnar Blackbane, so it's fast. And then another Wolfguard Terminator. Alright, Dreadnoughts, get out of here. We'll take a couple of you, but now we need to score points. Oh, also, we probably need an Impulsor for these fucking Blade Guard veterans. This army's terrible. Alright, I'm over the Redemptors. They're Ballistas Dreadnoughts now. We're Wolf Bots? We could play Wolf Bots, but whatever. At least Ballistas Dreadnoughts shoot good. And then we take, like, some number of scouts. Man, I played Space Marines over the week without scouts, and I felt like such a moron. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? And an Invader ATV. We've built a list, chat! It's a real list. That's definitely something. I almost wish we could find the charge reroll thing, but I don't know if I'm that into it. You're the librarian for Ishra OC. But then they don't really hit very hard at all, right? I think the goal is that we play them aggressively and they like flip objectives for us. But there's no movement buffs for them, so I don't even know if that's that good. It's that good. I don't think that we're gonna struggle. Oh, I forgot to take the Impulsor. Oh no. My army is terrible. I don't think that we're gonna struggle to like take the center of the table and control it for a while. Where did my Impulsor go? We have to cut. Ugh. Exactly not enough points to get 2 scout squads in here. Oh boy. Oh, there's a Terminator squad like hanging out. Fuck that. Okay, no wonder this list seemed really small. There was a 170.88 that didn't do anything. Maybe we're supposed to take Terminators and they're our utility unit because they cannot be downy. That's bad and dumb. Love taking my 200-point unit to do an action with them. Alright. Scouts. Come back, scouts. I never wanted to leave you at all. And we get some, like, suppressors, too, maybe? Ah, this army feels so much better if we don't have any fucking Terminators in it. Look at all these, look at all this room for activities. Instead of taking the 1 terrible Terminator unit, we could take 4 utility units. Okay. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. This is certainly a collection of data sheets. Yeah, it's something, dude. Thousands of furries around the world are howling about this awesome detachment. It's so good, dude. Toxicrane looks decent too. It has the same abilities of the Mutilith Vortex Beast for way better stats, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll save to play with a Toxicrane. Imagine, like, positioning them all on the table. So, anyway, here's our horrible list. It's Ragnar Blackmane, Ulrich the Slayer, because he's a Chad, a Judiciar, double Terminator, Wolfpack Terminators, 2 Bloodclaw. Man, could you imagine? Could you imagine if you could up down any Terminator unit and you could do it with these guys? Like, are you kidding me?
Ruthie Master donated $5 through Super Chat. As a Space Wolves player, this detachment makes my eyes bleed. Also, don't take Termis, take Bjorn.
Bjorn is sick in this detachment, it's true. What do we drop for Bjorn? Ballistas Dreadnoughts? We'd have to drop both. Or I guess, actually, we could drop 1 Ballistas. We need a gun to make your opponent keep their head down. And we could take and drop 1 suppressor, and we could take Bjorn. And then we get a 15-point enhancement. They need to give Terminators a glow up, yeah. They need to, like... Their ability just needs to be, like, fucking nuts. Oh, we can give, like, Ulrich's unit fallback, shoot, and charge. It's kind of cute. I don't think Ragnar can fall back and charge, right? He's literally only advanced. He's like, the man has no chill. Yeah. So you could make him fall back and charge. I think I'm into Ulrich, though. I don't know. Oh, can these guys take enhancements? Do they have a thing? Oh, damn. Just kidding. Get fucked. Ah! You can't take enhancements on the Terminator characters, bro. You're killing me. This detachment is so fucked, dude. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh, man. Might as well play Loki the Trickster. Did he get Legend? Oh, Lucas the Trickster. And you're just -1 to be hit? I mean, I guess. But he can't double attach with Ulrich. Ulrich gives you full hit and wound rerolls in melee. He's fucking nuts. Ulrich is one of those characters that I think in any other faction he would be a windmill slam in every single list. And because he's there in Space Wolves and he has like limited synergy outside of the Space Wolves specific units, there's really no reason to take him. Yeah. Yeah, at least the Black Templar's detachment, like, I don't know, it had things going on. Like it tried something new. It didn't succeed, but at least it tried. I wonder if we could downgrade the Suppressor Squad and get a Lancer. That feels much better than the single ball dread. Where you at, Lancer? That's better at shooting at other Lancers. Gladiators. And then we can get we've unfortunately lost our suppressors, which makes me sad, but we can get our Invader ATV back. I don't know. That's something for sure. Do we take lasers or Meltas on the Bjorn here? I think I like Meltas. This detachment is T for Thousand Suns. Is it worse than the Thousand Suns one? We memed on the Thousand Suns one because it's like actively anti-synergistic with the army. But I think this one might be worse. I mean, I think it's for sure worse. Thousand Suns one doesn't really work very well, but at least it has abilities, right? Like you're getting benefit from playing the detachment. This one feels like you're literally not doing anything. It kind of feels like you're not playing with the detachment rule. It's more unique than the Thousand Suns one? Is it? The Thousand Suns, that like, at least that one gave you like wound rerolls and stuff. I don't know. You get +1 to wound, potentially, army-wide. It didn't work because you always take objectives in the shooting phase, so it doesn't actually apply, but it's like, could work. How is it possible that these really shitty detachments made it past? Because they made 30 of them. And to be fair, their hit rate is really strong. And some of them I think are lacking context. Oh, like the Eldar one's really bad, right? But I think also, like, who knows what the datasheets will look like in a hot minute. So some of them, I think, we don't know the full context of the detachment. And then also, some of them, they probably just had to, like, send it. Because they had to make 1 million of these things. They can't all be amazing. All right, chat. So we're playing fucking Land Raider Redeemers, I guess. That's where we're at. And then delivering Blood Claw squads. I wish Blood Claws were easier. Well, actually, they are easy to deliver because you can put them in Rhinos. The downside is that you can't do that when you put Terminators in the unit, so we have to use Redeemers. Man. Watch the Eldar detachment be busted? Yeah, for sure. At some point, this was, yeah, it might, I imagine, maybe it was like 6 inches at some point, and they were just like, too strong, just nerf it. This definitely feels like something that was like, probably stronger, in a previous version. And I also wonder if and then was like changed last minute without playtesting. That's like a, you can kind of tell when stuff looks like that, where they're just like, well, we can't print broken stuff, so we just have to print something. So we just like tone it all down, right? Like, and this feels like one of those situations where they're like, okay, you can pick up, B, Downy, Adeptus, Astartes, Terminator units. Oh, okay. So any unit with a Terminator character in it can up, B, Downy. And then they're like, maybe that's too good, but we don't have time to playtest it, so just make it Terminator squads. You're like, oh, okay. Okay. The like least playable datasheet in the entire faction. Cool. Love that. But Rhinos can't fit Terminator pack leaders though, right? Unless I'm insane. I don't believe that Rhinos can't transport Terminators, and I assume that applies to him unless he has a special rule or something. They can transport Tactica stuff that's attached to your unit. But they don't have the same clause for Terminators, yeah. Just straight up cannot transport Terminator models. Unless the Terminator pack leader does not have the Terminator keyword, which would blow my fucking mind. No, he super does. So you cannot put him in a Rhino, is the downside. I am going to do a tier list of all the Grotsmas attachments, but I'm going to wait until tomorrow's drop before I do it. And I'll probably record it on Thursday. All right, chat. Well, that is a list. What do we have for our super chat goal? We're looking for 2 more. Anybody else want to drop 2 super chats and I'll play this like trash list that I made? It has 2 redeemers in it. What could possibly go wrong? Make sure they all have their hunter killers and multi-melt storm bolter. It's important. Couldn't possibly add those things to begin with. Friend played pretty casual Blood Ravens list with Librarius Conclave and 8 Chaos Knights. Yeah, I mean, I think Librarius Conclave like has stuff going for it. I don't want to sound like I think Librarius Conclave will never win a game or anything. I just don't think it's as good as playing other versions of Space Marines. You know what I mean? Cody, thanks for the gifted membership. So anyway, chat. So I don't know what to expect from the drop tomorrow, so I'm not sure what to schedule that when to schedule the tomorrow's live stream. But I'll probably be live probably 10 a.m. tomorrow. Librarius has more synergy with Wolfguard Terminators than the Space Wolf Wolfguard Terminator. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I think Fusillade is a good way to get synergy with literally all of the things.
Ruthie Master donated $5 through Super Chat. I want to watch you play this.
All right, one more, chat. We got one more, and then I'll yellow scribe this shit. Yeah, but if you want to make range, I think Fusillade is a very good example of how to make Terminators like useful, right? Because you just the datasheet on a base level is like so inept. You need a really strong ability, like to apply a really strong ability to them. There it is.
Ryan G donated $2 through Super Chat. Play science, no one wants to see old Yella put down.
Brutal. Is that a vote against playing what is this, Champions of Fenris? Does that count? Does that count negatively against the total? Oh, there it is.
Ruthie Master donated
right,
$5 through Super Chat. I will probably try turn my spam with this and get tabled.
Well, there it is. There's our goal, folks. Let me drop... I'm going to drop an LFG here. And then I'll probably go yellow scribe this trash. Bidding war on whether Trevi plays this or something good. Yeah, you want me to goal out and play a different thing? Go for it, painting. How's it going? Can I add another goal while the goal is active? Or can I end the goal? Oh, yeah. All right. Let's remove the goal. So this one completed because we had one that popped in earlier. All right. Ready? Goal number 2. I will double it for Brucey Master to play a different detachment. I can't believe you don't want to watch me play Land Raider Redeemers, dude. There's no way that we're making that goal. They're Land Raider Redeemers. What could possibly go wrong? I think what I will do here, folks, is this is my gift from all of you. Why, thank you. Why, thank you, chat. I feel so loved. I think what I'm gonna do is probably hop over to Twitch, and then we'll go through the yellow scribing process and see if we can get some folks on to play games with. It is Christmas Eve, so I don't know how many people are hitting up LFGs, but we'll do our best over here. So I'll thank everyone for coming in and hanging out with me today for this stream. Please come hang out with me over on Twitch, and we'll play this fucking trash ass detachment. And if we can't get it going today, then we'll I don't know why my link isn't working very well. There we go. If we can't get it going today, then we'll certainly run it back later this week. But at the very least, we'll go hang out on Twitch for a while. So cheers, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me over on YouTube. Please come hang out with me over on Twitch. Link is in the description, and or in the chat box, I should say. And otherwise, I'll see you in a bit. Bye.